Well, hello everybody, welcome to another one of our race diaries. We're at the final round of the Service Amateur Nationals this week, and I've got to admit, I haven't done all the rounds of this championship, so I've just really come along for the ride, and I'm not feeling it at all. I've Thursday started getting a bad throat, sore throat and everything. Pretty safe to say I've got man flu this week, so we all know how bad that is, so it could be touch and go how we get through the weekend. Anyway, I went out this morning and they'd ripped the track quite deep. Apparently there's still some moisture down in the soil, so they ripped it quite deep. So I went out in practice and it was really loose. I knew quite loose first column, especially compared to when we rode here the other week with the Twin Shock National, the Festival of Legends. Anyway, going down first race, gate dropped, totally fluffed the start. Front end came up, they all got off the gate. I caught them all up by the first turn, and I went down on the inside. I thought that might have been the quicker line to go down into the second turn, and I don't know, they all balked and slowed down quite a bit really going into that second turn, and I was right at the back. I could see Pesky Kevin, got Pesky Kevin battling with me again this weekend, and he was in a battle with Graham Watson, and I could see them too. And to be fair, because the first race the track wasn't that rough, those two were having a real good go at it, and they were carrying good pace. That went in for about a lap or two over all around the track, and I started gradually closing in on them. Then after the drop off, I think Kevin and Graham got a bit close going into the corners, and I think Graham then stalled his machine, so I swept round the outside, and then I started closing down on Kevin. Then I think it took 2 laps, reeled him in, and I didn't want him to see me. I wanted to just kind of make the move, and then I got really close to him, showed him a front wheel, and I knew he'd know it was me then, and that would spur him on. And sure enough, he did. He found a bit of extra speed, but anyway, I kept on his rear wheel. Went down into the big bowl turn, turned up the thing, and I think I went on the inside. I can't remember. Anyway, we approached the big step up at the top of the hill, and that's where I made the pass. He'd got the inside line going into the corner, and I slowly started easing across. I could hear his bike, but I was determined to keep that line. I didn't want to take his front wheel away because we'd be going into a fair bit of speed into that corner, but that was it. Made that pass stick and pulled away. So let's see how we get on in the second race.
2,000 years later.
Well, we've just done race 2. Not a lot to say about that race really. I'll show you some clips and a bit of the music, but really the gate dropped. I got a good drive out of the gate. I knew Kevin was down towards the right hand side of me. We always have a fair bit of friendly rivalry anyway, but I probably really wanted to, because I know he's pretty much the same speed of Robbie, and I've got to beat Robbie at the final round of the BSMA. He's only 1 point behind me now going into that final round, so I've made a point of really stepping it up as best as I can this weekend, and using Pesky Kevin as a gauge. But I got to beat him off the line, and that was it. I don't think I saw him then. I think Kevin did hurt his back at Hawkston. I'm just blowing my nose and taking a cocktail of pills in between races, anti-inflammatory, paracetamol, then my painkillers for my shoulder. And to keep you updated on my shoulder, I'm finally getting my had my x-ray in May, and I'm having my first physio, which will be the 18th of September, so they got round to doing that quick. I have what they diagnosed it as arched shoulder, whatever that is, something to do with the tendons out of place or something or other. So I'm going to get physio on that, and well, if the physio doesn't work, then I'm going to go to a chiro guy over the winter. But that's I've been living with that all year, so that's not an issue. Anyway, I checked out from Kevin, and there was another guy on the 500cc Kawasaki. He pushed me for a little bit in that one, but other than that, it was a pretty straightforward race, that one.
One debt to society later.
Well, we've just done our third race today here at Culham, and normally with the a service, it is supposed to be 3 races on a Saturday, but ours is usually towards the end of the block, and they kind of run out of time, so we have our third on a Sunday and get 3 on a Sunday, which isn't so bad. Obviously we've had practice this morning, and then 3 blocks. That was probably the roughest I've known Culham. All the jumps had got some serious kickers on them. I was going off, so I could feel the back end trying to come round on a few of the jumps, and I actually swapped it. It took me a lap or two to find some lines. I moved to the outside on a lot of corners. It may have been a bit slower on some, but some of the inside lines were so choppy. But the gate had dropped. I'd got a good jump on the gate, I don't know, 12th, 13th, I think I was told, for a little while, dropped back a little bit, and then a couple more people. Basically, I just settled into what I felt was comfortable. I've missed 2 rounds of this championship anyway, so it's more of a bit of practice ready for the final round of the BSMA. Even though this is an awesome championship, hopefully I'll be able to do all of them next year. Track and the meeting has been run brilliantly. The service, every meeting has run absolutely fantastic. It's been a good weekend so far, and it seems weird waiting for the beginning of the season, and in the blink of an eye it's nearly over, and we've got one more day's racing here with the service. We've got a band on in a beer tent tonight. I'm sure there'll be a few sore heads tomorrow. I'm probably not. I am having few tablets, and I could go to bed now. I feel like bleh. I came in after that last race and I could have been sick, but other than that, it's all go for tomorrow.
The next day.
So we had a little thought last night. We were playing around with the Sur-Ron LBX, and we're going to try and take it out, and it'll be I think the world's first time a production electric motorcycle will have been used in an outdoor motocross national. The bike is totally stock. It's the one we've been using as our demo in the shop, 772MX. We're going to do the sighting lap if I think it's okay, really, because obviously the suspension is quite soft. It's literally as stock as we brought it out of the shop. So we're going to go, if I'm comfortable with it on the sighting lap, we're going to go for the race and see how it goes. So it could be a bit of history in the making. I'm not going to lie, all weekend I've had the good old man flu, as you'll probably see on my other race report for the Husqvarna. But yeah, it's all about fun, because I've missed 2 rounds of this championship, so I know we're in this one, and it's the final round. I'm just I will laugh though if I beat my mate Pesca Kevin even on an electric bike. Top speed of these bikes are about 45 mile an hour, so a lot slower. So I'm going to suffer on the start straight, but I reckon if I keep it cranked round high on the berms, keep away from some of the bumps, it's a possibility. We'll see. If not, you're just going to look at some footage of the sighting lap. At least it's been out on a full-size national motocross track then.
1 pair of pants later.
Well, we've just done our 4th race here this weekend, and obviously I decided to take the electric Sur-Ron LBX out in that race just for a bit of fun. I knew I'd get left off the gate dropped. I went straight onto the hard bit on the outside, and I caught them in the first turn, and that was a bit of a surprise. I think I overtook one going out as we exited the second turn. So straight away I was feeling really confident. Then we dropped down the bank, and I'm still with the pack, which I really wasn't expecting at all. Then approached the tabletops. I'd only done the sighting lap, and I haven't really done any jumps really or proper track with the bike, so I didn't know what it was going to handle like. So I literally just went for it, and both tabletops, I think we were getting half the distance along it. So straight away I really was feeling good, and I think I overtook somebody else. Maybe I overtook somebody on the tabletop as well. Then we climbed up the bank. I could feel it hadn't got enough power for the bank, so I knew that's where I was going to be struggling. But anyway, we went down the next one, and I knew my plan was to rail round the outside, but the very start of the berm there was a lot of loose stuff, and it just took the front wheel, unfortunately, and I went down pretty heavily on my arm and shoulder, but it bent the brake lever, the rear brake lever, so it had jammed the sensor on, and I couldn't get the bike to start again. Anyway, I pushed it all the way up, and then I got it going again. So I rejoined, and we did 3 more laps. So we've officially completed a national motocross race on an electric bike. It was the only place it struggled was on the climbs out of the bowl turns, because you're coming out there, it's a sandy surface, very loose, so we knew it was going to struggle there, but along the bottom of the tabletop, I was gobsmacked. It did the job, so we did it. The lap time was 3 minutes 9, I think, so we were way off the pace, but that was only losing it on the hills. As I say, the opening lap, I could see the pack and I overtook a few, so, and that was running in stock standard condition. That's literally as it come out of the shop. So unfortunately, I think if I hadn't bent the brake lever so badly, I'd be going out for the next race, just for another bit of crack. But back to petrol for the next one, I'm afraid.
Thousands of tears later.
Got the good jump on the gate. Could see Kevin towards it. He was ahead of me actually off the start. I snuck down, tried on the inside, and then I think he swept down on the outside of me, and then he was ahead of me for a little while, and he got a nice comfortable little gap to be fair with, and it took me a good couple of laps to just get close enough to him, and I knew he was obviously feeling it again. He didn't want to let me pass, and he was holding some good lines, and it was literally a case of swapping the lines around. It was inside line, outside line, trying to find something to close that gap or make it work, because the track was quite rough. Finally, diving down into one of the horseshoes at, I think it was the one just before the finish. I'd gone on the outside, the inside line, and there was a the rider was down on the lap before. Anyway, he'd gone on the inside, I'd gone on the outside. I'd got the better drive coming up the hill, hit the jump at the top, and got alongside him. And then it was literally going through the finish area. I was right alongside him, and I knew it was almost similar to one of the passes the day before. He is my mate, but I do want to make it stick, but I'm taking my time to come across. I don't want to aggressively take his line away and send him down, because I knew he'd still got that throttle pinned. But going into the corner then, I knew I'd safely enough passed him, and I'd made that pass stick, and that was it then. He did catch a little bit, but really I'd pretty much got it then. I settled into a nice little pace and just rode the track then. So, but what a great series. The Service Amateur Nationals has been absolutely brilliant all year. It's run faultlessly. The tracks that they've been to have been superb. Probably Sherwood, I didn't gel with that track, but then I will say I wasn't really feeling it at that point, and maybe that track kind of like just pushed me a little bit the wrong way a little bit at a time. But the rest of the series has been bang on, and we're definitely back next year.